Alright, so here we go. Part 2 of premium farming. Let's see. So if you've watched part 1, that was done 1 week ago, you'll know the following things. In part 1, which was last week, it is now December 20th. But last week what we did was we bought 200 shares of BCTX at $9 and I think 8 cents or 7 cents a share. That'll give us the opportunity to do 2 covered calls, and it was under $2,000. And last week what we did was we had sold 2 covered calls at a strike of $10, and then we sold 3 puts at $7.50. And on both of those, we let them expire out of the money, and we got to keep the premium. And the premium collected gave us a total of $348. So now that you're brought up to speed, let's take a look at what we did this week. So here's taking a look back at those original 200 shares that we got right there. They're currently trading at $8.19, which is a little bit of improvement from last week. So for this week, what we've done is I have sold, sold 2 covered calls with expiration date of January 21, right there. And those 2 covered calls have a strike price of $10. And for that covered call at $10 strike, I was able to get $85 per contract, which gives me a total credit of $178. So if we're keeping track, last week I made $348 on selling some calls and some puts. This week, on just selling another covered call. So looking at it, just taking into account the stuff from last week and then the 2 covered calls sold this week, that puts me at $526. Profit made from selling option contracts on the 200 shares of BCTX that I have. Now I'm fairly confident that, based off what I've seen this thing do for the last couple weeks and from its chart, that it will stay above 750. 750 stock price. What I did was I sold 8 put contracts that expire out April 14th of 2022, so not for some time. And for those 8 put contracts that I sold, I received a total of $1,800 in credit. Now, this right here is the margin requirement. So the cash in the account, they actually set aside $3,246 as the option margin requirement, just in case this does get assigned. I need to have that cash aside to pay for it. Now the cool part is, this cash is set aside doesn't mean it's being used. So while it's set aside, it hasn't been technically used for anything, so I'm not getting any interest or any accrual of interest gains for using that money. So I haven't really used the money, it's just set aside. So if we take that 526, so if we take that 526 and 526, so let's see, that 526 plus the 1,842 gives us a total of, so with just the last 2 weeks, I've been able to generate $2,368. And keep in mind, that number doesn't account for what I spent on buying the 200 shares. So if I add that in, my total expense was 8, 9, okay? And we can subtract the 2, 3, 6, 8, which gives us a surplus of $559. So not only are my 200 shares that I paid $1,800 for, not only is that balance zeroed out, I actually am sitting on those shares for free now, and I have pocketed $559. So let's see, where was I? Stop for a second. 559. So I now have the 200 shares of BCTX for free now, and based off of the stuff I've done over the last 2 weeks, I now have a positive cash flow from owning those shares of $559. Not bad for only having less than $2,000 in shares. So as you can see, you can generate quite a bit of cash from doing transactions that are under a couple $1,000s. So if you have a small account, if you're pretty on point with watching for calls and puts when you can do them, it'll generate you some extra money. Well, I guess I should say too, to let you know, I do have a margin enabled on this account, so they do allow me to borrow or leverage the shares that I currently own and the positions that I have in order to purchase additional equities or whatnot. So if you had an account balance that was higher than a couple $1,000s, then it would be no problem for you to have this additional margin requirement just sitting aside. Remember, like I said, it's not incurring any interest right now. It's just the fact that you have it available just in case this does get assigned. But if I truly had only just this stock in there and I only had less than $2,000, then what I would do with this put is I would probably only get a couple of them, so another 2, and possibly look at doing buying a put at $5, so that way it protects me from the downside of the stock going to or below $5. And remember, like I said before, if you sell a put up here at 750, okay, and then the stock starts going down, if you sold a put, you're on the hook to pay for it, even if it goes all the way down to $1 or down to 0, which is a pretty sizable loss compared to if you just you sold a put at a certain strike price, say 750, and then you bought one at $5. Your losses stop at $5. So if the stock drops below $5, your loss is everything in between here, and then whoever sold you the $5 put, they've got to cover the rest of the loss. So I hope this helps someone who has a small account know that hey, you can generate some pretty good cash flow. It doesn't matter what the stock is. You could do this on other stocks. The idea, though, is you want to try to find something that has a high implied volatility or has some price movements going on or a lot of speculation. So yeah, if you got questions, put them in the comments. I'll try to respond back to them. And so just a reminder for this premium harvesting, this is only day 9, and so far I've been able to squeeze out $23.68 from an initial investment of $18.09. Not bad at all.